I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. I think it's fair to say trying to maneuver your way through a pandemic is difficult. Keeping up with the guidelines and information given on a national level, but also on a local level, as each state seems to approach quarantine differently. But now, imagine you're in a different country while this is happening. You don't know the language, the culture. You can watch the news, but you can't really understand it. Maybe you even have minimal contact with your family back home. This is what our refugees are experiencing. And it's why for this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries, we're revisiting an episode from August of 2019.
We teaching them. So we telling them it's okay to bring your good things from your culture. We're not telling you to forget about your culture, But then you're here, it's good to learn about the American culture because you're going to be living here almost all your life.
That's Corinne DeHaby describing the transition refugees experience, moving from their home country to the States. It's a part of a mandatory course offered at Us Together, a refugee resettlement agency of which Corinne is the program director. They offer housing, job assistance, English classes, mentoring programs, the list goes on. And most of these programs are offered in person or in a large classroom setting. Obviously, that's all that had to change over the past few months.
So we were getting information from CDC at first, and we talked to the families about it during our classes because we have English classes, we have employment classes. So we talked about them, that what they need to do to be careful, whatever. But then when the things started and hit and the government got involved in this and stuff, so it was like sudden. So everything was switched virtually, and to be honest with you, I never ever thought it was going to work that well.
It's a concern I understand, as one of the positives to Us Together is the physical space, a space where you could meet one-on-one with other individuals who are speaking your native tongue, who are also learning how to apply for a job, enroll their children into school, make a doctor's appointment. And then all of a sudden, you can't go to that space anymore. You have to stay home. So Corinne's concern now is providing the same kind of environment that these refugees would have experienced in person, but now all online.
It would be a lot easier, but to be honest with you, we managed well now because what they do, they take a picture of something they want us to translate or read on their behalf. They send us questions like, does this one going to affect my work? Whatever, those questions, we can answer them, of course, over the phone or by Skype. The language barrier is the issue. Like maybe sometimes the governor comes out and talks. They don't know what's happening. So after, usually every day I was doing it. After the governor is done, I go live on the group and explain everything he said. So, but we're telling them not to panic, and whatever they need, we're here for them. And a lot of times we got calls, to be honest with you, in the middle of the night, midnight, 11 o'clock. About stuff they are concerned about, So that's the thing. The major thing is the panicking and the anxiety.
So on top of moving all the regular Us Together programming online, Corinne has also created a support group, a space where members from the refugee community can learn and practice breathing exercises or yoga poses. It's a space that Corinne actually uses herself, as the Us Together organization has doubled their workload in this transition to virtual programming.
I encourage the staff, every time we have a staff meeting, which we do once a week, I encourage them, take the weekend off. Take the weekend off. Don't try to work. Nothing we can do on the weekend anyway, for them, unless it's emergency. So we need to have this time off for ourselves, too, for our sanity,
Luckily, the support goes both ways. It's not just the staff looking out for each other and looking out for its members, but it's also the members, the refugee community, looking out for the staff.
One of our clients, who is Taylor himself, donated the masks. He worked on them. He made quite a few. He stayed anonymous. He's a really nice guy, and I was talking one time we need masks, and then he said, I'll do it. I said, all of us can donate the material, he said, don't worry about it, I have it. So that was really nice, and all our families are covered now, so that's what we did.
Corinne was quick to point out that it's not just within the organization that she's seeing these acts of support. It's happening on a wider scale, which I'm happy to report as it echoes the conversation that we created in the first episode with Us Together, an episode that talks about the larger community supporting the refugee community.
Even the community as a whole, I'm not talking about the refugee community, the community, people caring about each other, people putting signs like, we care, we love you, thank you for doing your service. I mean, that's really, this is what we need. Regardless of political views, people came together. It's finally people are coming together to support each other, to like each other, to help each other. People in the community, they send us messages on Facebook or they call me because some of them have my phone. How are you doing, you and your families, anything you need? And that's really, that's a good thing to see and to know that people care. So, that's really the positive side of it.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.